Hello and welcome to the MAPS 101 training webinar video for Georgia subscribers focusing on grades 6 through 8. I'm Terry Karamaris, the MAPS 101 Customer Account Specialist and Trainer, and I would like to thank you for taking the next 45 minutes or so to highlight the depth and breadth of MAPS 101. My goal today is to provide you with a solid overview of the broad and in-depth content that's available to you in MAPS 101 and how to navigate through the material at your fingertips. We will structure our training today by focusing first on the 4 easy ways to navigate MAPS 101 content. Then we'll take a quick look at the sections making up the MAPS 101 resource. These are here on the left side. We'll highlight some of the key features shown in each area. At the end, we'll return back here to the home page, and I will show you how you can explore a little bit more on your own or review what we've already learned. So let's go ahead and get started with the first easy way to search for content, and that is to simply browse by subject. In the green box, you can choose from one of the 5 subject areas. I'm going to click on History, and I'll choose World History. And what we'll see here is a quick grouping of materials listed by subject. You'll see that we have Geography News Network articles, World Skill Builders. Please note the lesson plans aimed at the different grade levels. Scrolling down, you'll see a host of Middle East maps, National Geographic video content, and Western Civ and World History map. And so again, I'd like to emphasize that what you see in this section doesn't represent everything within the category. For example, we have over 550 National Geographic video shorts. The ones we've listed here have to do with world history. So now I'd like to get back to the MAPS 101 homepage. It's real easy to do so from anywhere on the resource. Click the MAPS 101 logo in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll be directed back to the homepage. The second way to search for content is to search by keyword. And above the Browse by Subject box, we can enter in a keyword. I might be studying Africa, maybe looking for maps of early African history. Let's go ahead and type in a broad search term to retrieve the most results. I'm typing in Africa. And as I click, a page comes up showing me 707 results returned for Africa. Those results are broken down here into the green tabs, which you will note correspond to the content sections shown here on the left side. So we're looking for maps of early African history. More than likely, we'll find it here in the map collections. And my first subset is history maps. There's 27 of them. I can click to expand the list of titles and choose the map that is best for my lesson. So that was the second way to search for content, was to do a keyword search. The third way to search for content, located at the bottom of the page, is to search by location using our Earth View search. And we have incorporated Microsoft Bing's satellite imagery into our search engine, allowing you to search for content by location. Let's search for the same content maps of early African history, this time using Earth View to search by location. So in the search box, I'm going to type in that broad search term Africa and click Go. Depending on your browser, you'll open up either a new tab or a new window. Please note we're over the continent of Africa, and here's a box showing us those 707 results. And I'm looking for some world history maps. Here's 23 of them. I can click to expand the list of titles. Here is a map from Africa, showing Africa from 1200 to 1600. As I click on the title, a little window opens up showing me a thumbnail, and I have a couple of options. On the left, I can click Go to this resource to open up the map in a new window to view it immediately. But what I'm going to do is click the right link, save this link, and here the link is saved for me on the right side to go back and take a look at later. So here's another map showing the beginnings of civilization. And I'm going to save this link. I've got a couple of maps showing early African history. I can go back, take a look at each map, and decide which one I want to use. At the end of my browsing session, I'm going to clear to remove the list of maps, and that way either the next user, myself, or another user will start with a clean slate, and I'll go ahead and close out of this session of Earth View. So you can type a location in the map and filter through the results. But you can also use Earth View another great way. You may be studying Australia, maybe learning about the different landmarks. Let's take a look let's go back here to the home page, and let's take a look here at Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock. And so I've typed that into my search engine. You note that we are right here over Australia. We have 5 results retrieved. I'm actually going to close out of that because what I want to do is use my controls in the upper left-hand corner. We're going to drill down and take a closer look at Uluru here in the Outback. And this is a great complement to our static community maps. You can actually drill down to neighborhoods, even different types of communities, ground level, landmarks, etc. So I hope that you'll use the you'll use the Earth View search in different ways in your classrooms. And the fourth and final way to search for content on Maps 101 is to search either by the state or Common Core standard, and I'll show you an example of how to search for both. We'll start with the Georgia State Standards. We've correlated our Maps 101 content to the Georgia Standards. So from the State Standards tab, choose Georgia from the drop-down box, and let's go ahead and choose grade 8, Georgia Studies. We'll click Go. And what you'll see here is a list of the standard codes, the strands, the description, and then the Maps 101 correlation. So we're going to go down here to Historical Understandings 8H1. The student will evaluate the development of Native American cultures and the impact of European exploration and settlement on the Native American cultures in Georgia. Let's click to see the results. You'll see here that we have the classroom activities, a geography skill builder, and a couple of lesson plans, all correlating here to this Georgia State Standard. I'd like to focus in on a lesson plan called Who Claimed Your Land? You see it as a lesson plan for grade level 6 through 8. It is ranked excellent for this standard code. You can click the expectation level to take a closer look at that. Any cross-curricular applications are given here for you at the bottom. Click the blue hyperlink to go right into the lesson plan. You'll see that all of our lesson plans in Maps 101 are set up in the same fashion, where we have the introduction, the time frame, you're given the objectives, followed by the national standards. You have maps and materials needed with links to take you right to those maps. The procedure is outlined for you. There are assessment suggestions. There may be an extension, and also many of our lessons include a student handout for students to answer questions about the lesson. You can download or print the lesson plan by clicking the bar in the upper right-hand corner. If you wish to choose look for content by Common Core standard, it's real easy to do that as well. Click the Common Core tab, and so you can see that we are adding lesson plans that have been correlated to Common Core. For example, here's one called The Gift of the Nile, set up in the same fashion as the lesson plan that we looked at earlier. You can also go by grade level. We're going to go down to, let's say, 6th grade. Click Go. And so at the beginning of the Common Core correlations, we list all the general ones here. You'll have to scroll down to actually get down to the nitty-gritty of your particular grade level. And so as we go down here, we can see here, for example, 6.82, determine central ideas of a primary or secondary source. Click to see the results, and you've got a lesson plan and some skill builders. So that's how to search by Common Core or State Standard. So again, quickly to remind you, you can search for content in Maps 101 either by subject, by keyword, by location, or by Common Core or State Standard. I do like to spend a few moments going over how to search for Maps 101 content. You know, we have about 7,000 total pieces of material on our resource, maps, lesson plans, videos. It's impossible to know everything contained within the resource. However, if you know how to search for content, you can find just about anything that you're looking for. The sections making up the Maps 101 online resource are National Geographic, map collections, interactive maps, Spanish language, reference atlas, global perspectives, K-3 maps, classroom resources, and learn and play. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. We'll start with National Geographic, and we're really excited about the Digital Content Alliance we created with the National Geographic Society. We offer our teachers and students access to even more outline maps now. We have about 1,000 total. We also include for you the National Geographic archive maps, Earth Pulse, and over 500 National Geographic videos ranging from 1 to 9 minutes in length. So you can see that you're actually getting the benefits of 2 resources with the National Geographic content included in your Maps 101 subscription. Let's begin with the Magazine Map Archive, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the poster-sized pull-out map you get included in your National Geographic magazine occasionally. And we've got over 100 years worth of those maps archived for you dating back to 1891. As far as we know, there's no other place to find them digitized, so they are unique to Maps 101. And you can search for content a couple of different ways. On the left, the maps are arranged by date. On the right, the same maps are categorized by area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Middle East. You'll see a list in alphabetical order of all maps pertaining to the Middle East, and we'll take a quick look at a map called Peoples of the Middle East. This is side one of a two-sided map. You can read more information about the map at the bottom. Click the green button that says Zoom in the upper right-hand corner. You can open up a new window and zoom in at a very high resolution. We call this our Zoomify feature. And this is a great map talking about the diverse variety of peoples found in the Middle East, their locations, their habits, and of course little factoids about different areas of the Middle East and the peoples that inhabit them. So I hope that you'll check out the hundreds of maps available for you in the magazine Map Archive. We'll go back to the National Geographic home section here, and I've been talking a little bit about the video shorts, 1 to 9 minutes in length, and you can search for video content a couple of ways in Maps 101. The first way is to click a location on the map. You can actually zoom in, go to a specific location to search for videos. Alternatively, if you wish, you can actually scroll through the list of all titles alphabetically to search for video content. I think it's a little bit easier to search in one of the 5 categories, and those are civilizations and history, culture and society, science and nature, wildlife, and videos in Spanish language. And so we may be studying the Columbian Exchange in our classrooms, of course, a turning point in history throughout the world. Let's find a video to show in the classroom. I'm going to go ahead and click on Civilizations and History. You'll see the default view come up. That's Thumbnails by Alpha. You can scroll through the list of pages to look at thumbnails, or if you prefer on the right, click Text to view the titles as text. And so as I look through the list of titles here, here's a video called The Impact of the Columbian Exchange on Europe and America. So we'll play a little bit of this video for you today to show you how it's set up. As it comes up, we can see that the running time is 5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and mute the sound here. Our Google Locator map shows us where in the world is this video. And I'm going to do a quick refresh here just to see if we can get this going. Here we go. The description of the video, it's titled Science and Exploration, the Impact of the Columbian Exchange on Europe and America. This short tells the history of the Columbian Exchange, starting with the exploration of Christopher Columbus to the Americas. The Columbian Exchange had many positive and negative effects on the participating lands. Without it, today's society would be unrecognizable. You can put the video in full screen mode to show on your smartboard in your classroom, and either press the escape key or, of course, with your control, restore it back to the default view. If you scroll down, you'll see a list of related maps, videos, and lessons accompanying the video that's playing. And finally, we'll go ahead and fast forward to the end of the video, and we'll show you the Maps 101 Fast Facts. Did you know that the major diseases transmitted from the Old World to the New World through the Columbian Exchange? And without the exchange, we would not have oranges in Florida, tomatoes in Italy, coffee in Colombia, and most importantly, no chocolate in Switzerland. And it talks a little bit about the number of slaves that were imported through the Columbian Exchange. So you can see that the combination of the text, the visuals, the sound, the locator maps, and the fast facts create a wonderful environment for your students to develop their independent learning skills. One last section I'd like to show you in National Geographic is Earth Pulse, and that's a visual guide to exploring global trends. We can take a look at trends such as population, food and water, technology, globalization, and much more. We'll go to population for purposes of our demonstration today. The animation comes up and we see an inset map of Tokyo, which is titled The World's Largest Megacity. We learned that for the first time in history, half of all humans are living in cities while the pace of urbanization continues to increase. Let's take a look first at population density. We learned that 6.6 billion people are living on Earth. We have a map key showing us the people per square mile or kilometer. You can actually take a closer look at the location of these cities, and the 21 megacities that they talk about, those are home to more than 10 million residents each. They're represented by the green dots. You can actually click here. We'll look at Mexico City. And you can see indeed it's very densely populated. Hover your mouse over point of interest to get your bearings if you wish. Moving on, we'll look at population growth over time. In 1955, please note populations in Tokyo, some of the cities in this part of the world, New York, Mexico City that we just looked at. 50 years later, you can see Tokyo has almost tripled its population, as has Mexico City, and the other cities continue to grow. In 2015, expected population figures, Tokyo and New York, relatively stable. Some of the other cities continue to grow. So I hope you will check out not only Earth Pulse, but some of the other global trends here in National Geographic's Earth Pulse. And finally, in National Geographic, I quickly want to point out the 9th edition Atlas. We have updated current political maps of various areas of the different regions of the continents, the world, even the solar system and the Milky Way. Please take a quick look here at a physical map of North America just to show you what these maps look like. We're going to move on next, though, to the map collections, really the heart and soul of Maps 101. Our parent company is Maps.com. We are a cartography company. We actually make the maps that you see here in Maps 101. And our broad range of maps includes for you antique maps, history maps, outline maps, many, many more. I'd like to go to the outline maps. As I mentioned earlier, we have about 1,000 total, and they're accessed frequently throughout all the grade levels. And in this section, I'm going to show you how to work with a map, how to print it, email it, download it to your computer, and even further customize a map. So I've chosen an outline map of the U.S. with shaded relief, and I've got a couple maps to choose from. I have a map that has text and a map without text. I'm going to click on this map with text, decide that I like it, I want to work with it. Now here is what I can do. I can click to print a PDF of the map to hand out to the students. All of our PDFs have been pre-formatted to print on 8.5 by 11 paper. I can click to email the map. It says to a teacher at your school, but really it can be to anybody that has the Maps 101 login credentials, the username and password that your school has supplied you with. You can click to download the map to your computer, and you can use it in a PowerPoint or embed it in your lesson. Your license to Maps 101 allows you to store the image on your computer throughout the duration of your subscription. So if you've got a map that you frequently use, keep it at your fingertips on your machine. You don't need to get online to access the map. And then finally, let's take a look at MapSketch, which is a tool that you can use to customize any of the maps in our map collection. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it before I demonstrate it. MapSketch allows the user to add text, icons, shapes, and a range of colors to a map to further engage students and reinforce lessons. Once the lesson is completed, the user has the option to print the map, save it, email it, or download it as an image file to use in presentations or other documents. So I'll demonstrate it right now. I'll tell you right away that your students are way better at this than I am, but I think you'll get the general idea of how to work with MapSketch. So my favorite color is red, and I live here in Southern California. I'm going to choose another color now, maybe blue. And you know, vacation's coming up. I'm very excited. I'm going to go visit my grandpa. He's moved to Florida. He retired there. I'm going to take an airplane, and this is the direction that my airplane is going to take. And you know, it's really going to be a lot of fun in Florida because it's always really sunny there, so we'll put the sun there. But you know what else they have in Florida? They've got really big bugs. So we'll put some bugs there, and we'll start our map key. We'll go back and start with the sun, finish it, filling it in later. We're going to give this a title, My Vacation Map. And finally, the teacher has told us to draw an ellipse around the name of our country. So now we have this beautiful map here, and we can work with it. So I know that despite my very rudimentary attempts, you can see how your students will actually be able to take what they learn in the classrooms and apply it to one of these maps. This, for example, if you're tracking different migrations, you can use it very creatively with this map. Also, teachers, you'll be able to assess how your students are doing by looking at their work on MapSketch. A couple quick points about MapSketch. It's compatible with iPads and other tablets, so other devices. Great to work with your iPad, your Android, even your iPhone if you wish. And then finally, if you do require one of the latest browsers to work with MapSketch, if you open it up and you don't see a map, go to Google, download the Chrome browser, which works well on older computers and allows you to work with MapSketch. Finally, getting back to our maps, if you see that a map is used in a lesson, you'll be provided with links to the lessons underneath the map that you're viewing. This map is used in 3 lessons, note at 3 different grade levels, and you'll find over 200 lessons and activities in our classroom resources section for you. So now we know what we can do with a map. Let's go back to the map collections and take a look at some of the maps available for you in Maps 101. Maps 101 is actually for more than just history and geography. We've got an extensive list of earth science maps with physical and environmental data. Let's go ahead and take a look at a map of biomes of the world. Pretty basic map showing the oceans, wetlands, forests, deserts, and other locations. We'll take a look at our history map sets. You'll see these are categorized by U.S., Canadian, and world history, and we've also broken out the presidential election maps that you can take a look at, one election or compare 2 elections. In our U.S. history maps, you'll see that they're arranged chronologically, starting with the colonial revolutionary times. Our first presidential election map begins in 1789. And scrolling down through the list of maps, you see a history of the U.S. You'll see the War of 1812, the Texas Revolution, to westward expansion, the Civil War, Reconstruction, to the 2 world wars, and of course the Depression in between, to the current post-Cold War era, just to quickly go through U.S. history. Let's take a look at a map that shows some U.S. history. Of course, we can take a look at a map showing the removal of Native Americans, also known as the Trail of Tears. I won't zoomify the map, but that is an option for you, and you can see the relocation of the Native Americans in this part of the U.S. We also have world history maps you can take a look at. You'll see that these are also arranged chronologically. We start with our ancient societies and civilizations, moving on to the Age of Exploration, the Renaissance, Napoleon, to the World Wars and the current post-Cold War era, just to quickly scroll through world history. A map that we can take a look at is a map called The Spread of Islam from 622 to 750 CE. You can see the beginnings of Islam in Medina and how it spread throughout this part of the world. Also, I'd like to point out that you can get a lot of great information in our thematic map sets, and these maps feature different types of data. It can be social, historic, economic, cultural data. A great way to get information about the different states is in the state thematic map section. We'll go to Georgia, and let's take a look at transportation. Here's a map showing major transportation routes in Georgia, and you can also check out other states as well. So please check out the different maps in our thematic map sets. We're going to move on next to our interactive maps. And these maps feature visual, movement, and sound effects to engage students and bring historical events to life. We've got some animated timeline maps. We just looked at the spread of Islam. Let's take a look at the history of religion. 5,000 years of religion in 90 seconds. And so we begin here in 3000 BC with India with the birth of Krishna. You can see that Hinduism shows here in orange. We have our timeline. I'm going to go ahead and pause when we get to the birth of Abraham here, and Judaism is shown in pink. Let's pause. There's the conquest of Canaan. We can talk about what's happening, and I will quickly forward through this map. Of course, you can play it at the regular speed and get more information. But that's a map showing the various major religions of the world: Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. We also have animated history maps here in our interactive map section. Let's take a look at our U.S. history maps, again, organized for you in chronological order. What was happening in the Civil War, right before the Civil War in the North and South? Well, we were growing cotton, corn and wheat, dairy cattle and hay, sugar, rice, and tobacco. Besides agriculture, we had industry, textile mills, especially in the Northeast, other manufacturing facilities, and finally the locations and details of the slave revolts. Clear the map by clicking the same buttons and it'll get restored back to the default view. And in our world history, of course, if we're studying ancient civilizations, we can take a look at Mesopotamia and Egypt, 4000 BCE to 1000 BCE. Here's the Hittite Empire, the Mesopotamian Empire, the area of Mesopotamia conquered by the Hittites, and the Egyptian New Kingdom, and you would clear the map in the same fashion. One last map I'd like to show you is our interactive census map, and this map takes the latest census data and applies it to a map either of the entire U.S. or you can look by state. We'll go to the entire U.S. right now. Let's get started. The default view you'll notice is U.S. population by county. You can actually zoom in, go right to a specific county. I'm going to choose this very large county in California. It's San Bernardino County. You can see in 2010, a couple million people, very diverse with many different races or layers as they're called here. Let's go ahead and examine the different layers. Maybe we're interested in Native American population. So I've clicked here and now the map defaults to Native American population by county. Well, this looks pretty interesting. I might want to compare some locations. I can compare up to 4, but I'm going to go ahead and choose 2. And the places I want to take a look at, the first place, notice it's highlighted for me in white. I'm going to choose California since we looked at it earlier. And the second place I want to take a look at, maybe we'll take a look at our state in Georgia. Here's something pretty interesting. More counties in California have a higher percentage of Native Americans than they do in Georgia. Now, why might that be? Well, we looked at that Trail of Tears map earlier. That might have something to do with it. There may be economic factors that prohibit people from settling or leaving an area that they may want to relocate to or relocate from. So lots of great ways to use this map. Hope you'll check it out. And there's also a help tab at the top of the map that you can use. So that was our interactive census map. The next section that we'll take a look at real quickly is the Spanish language section, which was added because of requests from our subscribers. So we'll take a quick look here at some very basic Spanish language map, the continentes del mundo, continents of the world, correct spelling, accenture, and of course location of these places on the map. Please note that we have translations of our Geography Skill Builders lessons. We'll take a closer look at that when we get down to classroom resources. And when we get to Global Perspectives, we'll examine our Spanish translations of our Geography News Network articles and the Geography in the News archived current event articles. We have some beginning and advanced Spanish language glossaries, geographic glossaries. Here we have the term given both in English, in Spanish, clickable link in English, the definition in Spanish. You can work back and forth between the English and Spanish language glossaries if you wish. We've got a selection of National Geographic videos in Spanish language. This is also great for ELL students or possibly for language arts students studying Spanish to increase their auditory comprehension. We do have some basic K through 3 maps in the Spanish language section. You can also find them here in our K through 3 section. I'll show you very quickly a map of Mi Casa. Again, this might be useful for Spanish, beginning Spanish language students. And so here we have mom and dad's room, my room. Here's the kitchen table. It's fun to work with Map Sketch with this map. Right now, I've talked about the kitchen table. I'm just going to go ahead and set the table here using the Map Sketch tool. So that's kind of a fun way to work with the Map Sketch tool. And finally, we do also have our Hispanic Heritage Month content collection available in Spanish language. We'll take a look at our content collections when we get to the Global Perspective section. The next section we'll move on to is the Reference Atlas, and at Maps 101 we offer you an extensive and up-to-date world and U.S. reference atlas with a variety of tools. Each country and state offers you access to a political map, a physical map, a flag, and an extensive collection of statistics. For purposes of our demonstration today, we'll take a look at China. So from the World Atlas, I clicked on Asia, and now I'm going to click on China. And that's going to bring me up a basic political map of China. Clicking the next link at the top of the page will bring up a physical map of the country. We can take a look at China's flag by clicking the next link. And the final link will bring up some statistics for the country of China. And you'll see that they range from geography, people, government, economy, all the way to military and transnational issues. You can actually read thumbnail information or click to go more in depth. Additionally, in the Reference Atlas, we have a lot of great tools. One of them I'd like to point out is the Guide to Country Comparisons. I'm going to go ahead and click on that right now. And we've taken countries and listed them in rank order pertaining to topics such as geography, people and society, economy, energy, and communications, transportations, and military. So to show you an example of this, we just looked at China. We've been talking a little bit about populations today. We know China has a lot of people in their country. Let's see exactly where they stand in the world. So it's real easy to find out that information. You'll open up your Maps 101 reference atlas, go to the Guide to Country Comparisons, and then click on population. And you will see that China, we'll just wait for this to come up here. And we'll try this again. China is listed as number 1. Here we go, with 1.3 billion people. Interestingly, the U.S. is third with about 1/4 of that population. So I hope that you will check out the Guide to Country Comparisons. Also, please note we have a list of appendices with scientific and geographic information that I hope you'll explore and let your colleagues know about as well. The next section we're going to take a look at is global perspectives, and this section is just chock full of information. I mentioned earlier our content collections. We do have 4 of them for you. Let's start with Black History Month. That's celebrated in February in the U.S., and we've taken content and aggregated it here for you to help you in your classroom. We have some National Geographic videos, locations of significance for Black History Month, activities for the classroom, articles, and maps significant to Black History Month. That's followed in March by Women's History Month, and we've got a content collection for that. Next month, April, is Earth Month. You can access our Earth Day content collection. And of course, in the fall, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month that we'll hope you'll check out in the classroom. I would like to focus in on a couple of sections here today in Global Perspectives. The first one is the Geography News Network, and this is a new section for us. We're very excited. We have 6 authors from across the country that are writing weekly and monthly current event articles for Maps 101 subscribers. They're on a variety of topics from different perspectives. And so we'll take a look at the current article. It's called Landslide Detection. Click the link to go right into the article. And so we have a custom graphic. We have an article. They are written at the newspaper level, so they are entirely appropriate for your 6th to 8th grade readers. And scrolling down, we'll see that the author has added questions for extended learning. This stimulates discussion, brings rigor into the classroom. I also want to point out that Common Core strands are noted here, and sources are also cited. I mentioned earlier you can get these articles in Spanish. It's real easy. Just click the Spanish language link. You'll get the graphic, the article, the questions for extended learning, and the Common Core correlations in Spanish as well. Please note that we do have an archive of geography in the new Geography News Network. I'm just going to go ahead and click on search to bring up a list of all articles, and you can see these are arranged chronologically. You can scroll through the list through the different pages to access different articles. We're also very excited about our podcasting that we have done of the different Geography News Network articles. So for example, we've got on our Maps 101 blog, which is maps101blog.com, you can listen to a podcast. We're trying to do most of them. Obviously, we can't do all of the articles podcasted, but please check out the blog. In addition to the podcast, you can also find other content not available to Maps 101, including lesson plans, and different social studies related activities. In addition to the Geography News Network, I do want to point out our archived Geography in the News current event articles. Dr. Neil Lineback, who just retired, wrote these articles for us for over 20 years. They are available in English and Spanish with questions for extended learning. So for example, if we want to search for content on the Middle East, I'll type in Middle East in the archives, and you'll see here a list of articles, at least 8 pages of content referencing the Middle East. So this is a great source of materials for your classrooms. And finally, in Global Perspectives, I want to show you my favorite section of Maps 101. This is the Map of the Week. It comes out every Monday morning. Our geographic artist, Scott Davis, brings you a new Map of the Week, tying current and historical events to the lay of the land. So we've got a map here talking about toy manufacturers by state 2011. Santa's elves aren't the only ones making toys this holiday season. California had the most doll and toy manufacturers during that year. How many doll and stuffed toy manufacturers were in your state? So these are maps. They're kind of fun. You can answer some questions every Monday morning. I think it's kind of a fun way to start a discussion in the classroom. You'll note these are open-ended questions which do promote discussion. I think it's kind of a great way to start your week. If you enjoy learning about a subject, you remember what you learn, and you want to learn more, so I always enjoy showing the map of the week in our demonstrations. We'll move on next to our K through 3 map section. I do want to briefly show you this section should you have a need for students that might need a little bit of review, extra help, or have learning challenges. So very quickly, we do have some beginner maps here in the K through 3 section. We have animated maps with audio, featuring beginning farm vocabulary with Uncle Sam's Farm Starter version, Uncle Sam's map gridding, and Uncle Sam teaching cardinal directions. Please note we've got beginner maps showing the progression of learning from my house going all the way to my universe. In addition, we've got simplified maps of neighborhood, and here is an urban and rural bird's eye view 45-degree angle map. Additionally, we've got some simplified maps of the Earth, so we can take a look at a simple map of equator, tropics, and poles. If you're looking at world maps, we looked at that National Geographic map of North America earlier in our presentation. Here's the same map at the K through 3 level, a simplified map showing the same information at an easier level. Also, if you are studying regions, you can take a look at the different regions. Here's my state, the rest of the states in my region, and where we're located in my country. And then also I want to point out that we do have the K through 3 maps in Spanish language available in this section as well. So if this section is useful for you, that's great. If you know somebody that might be interested, let them know about the K through 3 maps. Moving on, we'll go to classroom resources. This is a section that contains over 200 lessons and activities, and where you can find tools to develop and test your student skills. We earlier accessed a lesson plan by searching either by state or Common Core standard, but you can also go to Classroom Resources and search for a lesson plan either by grade level, subject, or world region. We'll go ahead and choose grade level 6 through 8, and I will show you a list of all of the lesson plans available for that grade level. They're all set up in the same fashion as the ones we looked at earlier. In addition to the longer lesson plans, you can also choose from shorter classroom activities. These are also organized by grade levels. Let's go to grade 6 through 8. And so we took a look at China's population using the reference atlas. You can actually do a classroom activity on that. Have students look at China on the world population and natural increase rates map. How does China's population compare to that of other countries? How does its population growth rate compare to that of other countries? And then have them research China's population policies and write opinion statements on whether they agree or disagree with these policies. So that's just one of the activities for you. And then finally, in Classroom Resources, I do want to point out our geography skill builders. And these are over 70 geography-centric activities to help your students practice and reinforce their geography skills. You can choose from U.S. or World Geography. Let's go to World Geography. Both sections are arranged chronologically by themes, and we start here with the beginnings of civilization, going all the way to perspectives of the present. We can learn about deforestation in Brazil if you're studying the environment, what's happening in the world. Certainly deforestation is a concern. So we can have the students read a reading passage, take a look at a graphic, finally answer questions about the text and the visuals. Additionally, the skill builders are available in Spanish. As with our other content, click the Spanish language link to get the article, the graphic, and the questions in Spanish. We'll go back to English now. And then finally in classroom resources, let's take a quick look here at the understanding geography activities. These are lessons designed to support existing social studies curricula. They may be useful for review or for students that might need a little bit of help or have learning challenges. You can choose from levels 3, 4, and 5. We're going to take a look at level 5, activity 6, bodies of water, just to show you how these are set up. Learn more information about the activity at the bottom. Click the PDF to show that we've got lots of keywords, lots of questions, color, learning about exploration in the U.S. by bodies of water, where European settlements occurred along bodies of water, and then finally some questions and an activity for students to try independently. The last section we'll take a quick look at, I'll let you explore most of this on your own, is Learn and Play. This is where we have our educational games and quizzes, a great way to review and reinforce the subjects you're teaching in the classroom. So very quickly, we have crosswords for Earth Month and Women's History Month. These relate to our content collections. We have a fun game show where your game show host, Geo George, asks you questions. You answer by clicking a location on the map. All the answers are found in the reference atlas to the GeoQuiz game show. We have some drag and drop games to reinforce locations of the states and state capital. If I answer the question, I get applause. If I answer incorrectly, I get the buzzer. So that can be kind of fun. Aliens and Uncle Sam's Farms are games aimed at the younger learner. We have jigsaw puzzles, crosswords, and word searches of various degrees of difficulty. Note that we have easy and advanced word searches. I always like to show those. And then finally, we do have some Flash World quizzes of various degrees of difficulty. Pretty easy, ranging from the continents quiz to super challenging when you have to start naming different countries on a timed basis. So we'll go back to the Maps 101 homepage. I know that we've covered a lot of material in just a little bit of time. I do want to show you how you can learn more on your own. From the top row of buttons, click the Help tab to access the Maps 101 user guide, and you can learn more information about the different content areas we didn't have time to cover here in Section 3. In Section 1, you can refresh how to navigate content, how to work with a map, how to pull up a video. If you need troubleshooting information, maybe clearing your cookies, you can find help here in this section as well. So this does conclude our review of Maps 101 for Georgia grades 6 through 8. I hope that you have a solid understanding of the breadth and depth of instructional content available in Maps 101 and how easy it is to navigate. Please feel free to contact us with any questions you may have about the Maps 101 resource. We are here to help you get the most out of your resource. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.